Hello, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Candlestick, and today I shall be playing Dr. Crystal Everlight, and this is Miserable Company. This is taking place in the Overblot timeline, so I probably should catch up with some of that. In particular, definitely probably worth listening to Concerning You, which was a FPS played between two absolutely wonderful and some of my favorite people, and definitely good to listen to. Just mind the angst warnings, probably also for this game as well. And would my wonderful co-host like to introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Gale, otherwise known as Whirlwind Gale, or Whirl, or just Gale. Depends on something. Anyway, I am also here with the amazing, wonderful, charming, delightful Candlestick, my beloved, the light of our life. Um,
No fair.
and fight me. Anyway, I am here to play Yuu Au'Dienz, who is having a time. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
uh,
Don't worry about it.
we're worrying about it. We're worrying about it this game.
It's fine. Don't worry.
Well, that's not going to stop people. In fact, it's probably going to make people worry more. Which segues nicely into speaking of worry, there is someone who's decided to come visit you because she recently found out that he was not at work. And then got a rather concerning letter from the professor detailing uh developments on that front. Um so yeah, I think um I don't know if she has Yu's address, but I think it wouldn't be that hard to get it from Moria to visit him.
Yeah, he's not hard to track down.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. Crystal is learning that at the moment.
He is just a dude with an apartment in the same way she is just a nice lady with an office.
Yeah, which is publicly available information because of her job.
Exactly.
Yeah, she I'm gonna roll, see if she actually let you know that she was coming.
Great, because the professor certainly didn't.
Uh, I might jinx myself, but Crystal is usually the sort to let people know that she's planning on coming over, even if she's also the sort to not really give them a choice in the matter. She will give them a heads up. Yeah, yeah. She definitely gave you a heads up about that, so he knows she's coming.
Yeah, I think in that case I'm gonna do something fun. As Crystal is approaching the apartment building, she notices a familiar flaming cat sitting on the front doorstep.
uh, oh, when Crystal sees that, she's gonna nod her head and just dial.
Meow.
I'm assuming you is home.
Meow.
Alright, well, sorry. Excuse me. And she's just gonna sort of reach over the cat to knock on the door.
Well, I mean, she would probably open this door because it's like the front door to the building rather than the apartment itself.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, okay, that makes
The
sense. So,
cat was just sitting there to make sure she found her way all right.
aww. Well, then she reaches over the cat to open the door and let herself into the apartment building.
And Dyer just struts in front of her.
Not gonna ask how the cat managed to get out the front with the door closed, but it is what it is. You don't
Don't
question those
worry about
things.
it. She's magic.
Yeah, yeah. So,
She can just be where she needs to be, as all cats can.
yep, this is very true. Well, at least she doesn't have to worry about getting the right number of the apartment since the cat's probably doing a pretty good job of leading her to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dyer like leads her up a couple sets of stairs and then over to Yu's apartment door and then just sits in front of the door and starts meowing very, very loudly.
It will be joined by a knock.
There's just like a sound of, huh? What? Coming. Be right there. God. Dyer, quiet, please. And just. She refuses to quiet down. She continues to meow very loudly.
Yeah, that tracks for cats.
And there's, a little bit less of the usual clattering and things falling over sounds that come with you coming to his front door. As instead it's just you hear footsteps and then the door opens. And you kind of peeks out and just like, oh, Crystal, hi. Or pardon, Dr. Everlight, hi. Uh
Crystal
Dyer,
is
get in
fine.
here before you wake the neighbors. Dyer struts in with her nose in the air.
Do you mind if I
You
come in?
sighs. Huh? Oh, yeah, sure. Um, yeah, I can't make you any worse than I already have. Here we go. And he undoes the chain latch on the door and opens it for her. Come on in.
Nice. So, well, I'm definitely rolling a medicine straight off the bat. um, but she will say, I got the letter from the professor.
Ah, good. He mentioned that he was going to write those. Saves me time.
Ooh, that's not a great roll. Thank goodness your modifier is good enough to like lift that.
What'd you get?
16.
16. Yeah, he's visibly not doing great. He looks very, very tired. The first thing that she would notice is that there are dark circles under his eyes, and then the second would be what the professor noticed first, which was that, oh, those ink marks have spread a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and he also, it's very dim in here. Like, usually the curtains are open and there's a lot of natural sunlight, but the curtains have been drawn like someone's trying to avoid light.
Hmm. Hmm. That well, could be a sign of multiple things. Because, there are natural, like, non-magical parasite-related reasons why someone might want to avoid light. Um, Even though light is also good for, like, your health. And, things like that. But there's not much she can gain on that front without probably prodding you. So I think she's gonna start with how are you doing?
Eh, well as I can be, given the circumstances. How about you?
Similar. Have you been
Yeah.
sleeping?
I slept for about a day straight. Haven't gone to bed yet, but probably gonna sleep some more tonight, I guess. You?
uh, she's gonna like tilt her hand back and forth, just getting what rest I can.
Crystal.
I'm. It's not always easy to sleep through the night.
I get that. Hang on. And he's actually going to sort of step around her and flick the kitchen light switch, uh turning it from sort of a dark, dimly lit kitchen into, more warmly lit. It's got a orangey yellow box light up top, and he kind of winces at it and then shakes his head and says, "Okay, you're having trouble sleeping then?"
A little, but
All right. And he like nods at that and starts pulling different types of leaves and flowers out of this little box on his counter that has a bunch of different drawers in it.
I'm not here for you to help me.
Yeah, well, you're in my house, so deal with it.
You should open the curtains, perhaps, if we're letting light in. The sunlight is good, is healthy.
I know, but it's not great for my head right now. Even this is pushing it. The light's been giving me migraines.
That is unfortunate.
Yep, less than ideal. Information hangovers are a bitch, apparently.
So this has been ongoing since you and the professor.
Yeah. Turns out the things that want me to not know things are very not happy that I now do know things.
So not likely to go away anytime soon then.
Probably not.
Do you have tea for that?
No, but over the counter painkillers are a real wonder.
And they've been working?
To an extent. They work enough to let me knock myself out for a couple hours, and then by the time I wake up, I can be functional for a bit before the headache gets so bad that I have to lay down again.
So manageable but not ideal.
Precisely. Which, sums up the whole situation. Do you like lavender?
I yes.
Awesome. He adds a scoop of that to whatever it is he's working on.
She is eyeing it sort of like cautiously. Like, what are you putting in this?
She can roll investigation if she likes.
Lovely. uh your modifier's not gonna save that roll.
Oh, that's a 10. It's green. There's a lot of different green types of leaves in there. And it smells vaguely minty, but also you can smell like lavender and lemon in there.
Huh. Well, I mean, smells nice.
Mhm.
I'm
Hey, it smells very
just
nice.
trying to think, like, gather my thoughts. What would she say? Because she's like, she wants to help, but words are not coming.
Um You is decidedly not starting conversation in that direction. If it's probably not any help.
Yeah, yeah. I think she's maybe just like watching him at the moment, trying to like figure out what to say and like just observing him. Like he can feel that she's observing him, and it's that very like I am trying to piece things together right now kind of observing.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you've been sleeping and you've been able to get something for the migraines. Uh, is there anything else basic physical needs that you haven't been covering?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure the professor would have mentioned it because he was pretty upset by it, but eh. He kind of sighs and says, like I told him, can't eat shit, but That's fine.
The food.
Yeah.
Yes, that is far from ideal. And you said that tea helps.
Tea's the only thing that tastes okay anymore. It doesn't taste as strong as it's supposed to, but it also doesn't taste bitter and make me want to puke. So I'll take
And
it.
you've not been able to keep anything else down.
Pretty much. It all tastes. He kind of wrinkles his nose. Bitter, slimy. Ugh, nasty. Tastes like it turns rotten.
Right. There are ways to get nutrients into someone that doesn't require them eating it, but that is kind of a drastic measure.
Yeah, no, I'd prefer, no weird tube shit, thanks. I'm not at the point where I'm falling apart yet.
Well, let's ideally keep it that way.
Trust me, that's the goal. And he reaches over and flicks the uh, flame on the stove and sets the kettle on to boil.
Hmm. Well, it won't help keep your energy levels up, but perhaps over the counter vitamins could help with nutrients.
Possibly. I'll have to put that on the grocery list, I guess. And
Worth a try anyway.
Dyer hops up on the counter and he gives her a little scratch under the chin. She's been a real help, you know? I haven't
Yeah.
been able to leave the house, but I give her the money and the grocery list, and she goes and picks up groceries all by herself. I don't know if that's just common enough among tunes that a cat delivering groceries is normal, but can't say I don't appreciate it.
Normal is a relative term when it comes to tunes. I wouldn't say that it's particularly common, but enough so that most probably wouldn't bat an eye at it.
Yeah. This world seems to have a general vibe of, well, this might as well happen.
Yes, you haven't met Chester by any chance yet, have you?
Who?
No, that would be a no. Giant cat, part of the group chat.
Don't think I've had the pleasure.
Hmm. I'm just she wants to bring up the discussion and stuff and what she learned, but she doesn't know how.
I think the sort of like I think he like sort of recognizes that she wants to talk about something. She's having issues figuring out how to bring it up. And he kind of looks at her out of the corner of his eye and says, "I'm assuming you didn't just come to talk pleasantries. What's up?"
No, well, to be honest, I'd wanted to check up on you after finding out that you'd not been in the office, but, well, I now know why. Um, and, well, I was hoping there was something I could do to help.
I appreciate it, but Everyone's kind of doing what they can. I'm honestly a bit more worried about you.
You, I'm, well, doing as well as I can given the circumstances.
You're using my catchphrase against me. Damn.
Yeah, just that sort of like, um, there's no humor in that smile.
um, you hands her a funny mug.
Thank you. Okay. I think she's just gonna raise an eyebrow at him and just the. You trying to say something?
Nah, I've got a bunch like that.
They suit you.
Thank you. I used to find a bunch of them at the thrift stores.
Hmm. Well, it's nice to have some small familiarity. Blech. Words.
It's nice to have little things that are just kind of silly.
That too. I've
I'm
been.
guessing.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you can go.
I'm guessing you're still trying to find a solution without dealing with the actual Overblot itself?
Yes. Well, I've begun separating my work on two fronts there, one for the Overblot, one for the symbol.
Hmm. He nods and rubs his throat and gestures over to the living room. He goes to sit on the edge of his bed, and the couch is actually fairly clear for once. Matter
Cool.
of fact, I don't think Crystal's ever been to Yu's apartment before, so she wouldn't notice the difference, but most of the books that he usually has just sort of scattered around his living room are not there.
Huh.
Um, the few that he had bought outright are neatly put away on bookshelves. There's a little notebook on the table, but it's not open and doesn't look like it's been touched for a couple days.
Hmm.
And
I know
there's
what
none
this
of the
means, but Crystal won't.
there's none of the stacks and stacks and stacks of textbooks on various types of magic. Instead, it's kind of empty.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean Crystal's not gonna know that's abnormal. But so she can't comment on it. So unfortunately, she's just gonna have to follow you to the couch. And I've been it's definitely not easy, and the materials that would be necessary, I do not know how easy it would be to acquire them either. But one potential avenue I've been looking into is, well, we know the parasite feeds on magic.
Hmm.
So what about the opposite?
What? Anti magic?
Yes, an anti-magic field.
Mm, not sure. I mean, it can. It survived with me, and I'm decidedly not magic, but I'm also not anti magic, so. Eh. There wasn't such a thing as an anti magic field in the mirror. At least I don't remember there being one.
Right.
I'm trying to
So
think if
potential
the
then.
the closest there was to anything anti-magic would have been Riddle's special spell, which cut off all of a person's magic completely. I guess just can't remember if he ever used it on someone who'd been affected.
Well, it's definitely risky, and there would need to be probably smaller tests first. That's assuming we could even find something that would work. But there are two potential options I can see with it. One being something that could suppress. It might be enough to be able to, well, remove the seal long enough to, well, suppress it long enough to remove the seal. Otherwise, there could potentially look into trying to remove the magic itself.
Hmm. He kind of nods. He doesn't look like he has much hope in either option, but he nods. Says, "Well, thank you for looking into it."
Of course, this does hinge on it's not going to be sufficient on its own if you're missing a piece of yourself.
Well, shit. That would be a problem then, wouldn't it?
But
I'm
potentially a
sorry.
problem with a solution.
Hmm?
Well, the at least a potential solution. Look, I'm not sure if you actually maybe I can just show you. Um and she's gonna I'm gonna roll hammer space. All right, yep. No, she's gonna pull out the letter from the professor, which is several pages long.
Oh god.
She's gonna gesture at the professor shared a lot of information about what happened.
Mm, yeah, that makes sense.
So I know about the astral plane projection potential.
Yeah. I I still don't know what's going on with that, honestly. I've considered trying to go in and look around, but hmm, you ever have those ideas that just feel like bad ideas? Like you think of them and immediately you know that's not going to end well?
Hmm. Yeah, that's not something I know well from experience, but no, I know what you're getting at. What about someone else?
What, taking someone else in?
Yes.
I've done it before, but if you're offering, I don't think that would be very helpful to you.
I wasn't actually thinking me, but one of the others who's already overblotted.
It's a possibility. Mm, I
You
don't
know
know.
this place
They've
better than I do.
Yeah, I know it better than damn near anyone. Unfortunately. He kind of frowns and then pinches himself on the shoulder and shakes his head and says, "Sorry. I'm usually a lot more optimistic than this. I'm still kind of reeling."
You are allowed to be processing this. What you found out was a lot for anyone. You're allowed to be upset.
I'm not even upset. That's the problem. Finding out just makes me feel tired. Like, yay, everything I've been working on for the past year is useless. Woohoo! Eh, no. Clear thoughts. Clear thoughts. And he kind of like taps his forehead and tries to focus. Oh, feeding into it helps nobody. Come on, focus up. Sorry.
It's. Look, I get it. Trust me, I get it. When I. Finding out what you're working on, not being successful, knowing that you've spent years of your life and it amounted to nothing. But you cannot let that stop you. And to be quite frank, I didn't think you would be the sort to let that get to you.
Usually I'm not.
So hold on to that, because there are people who are not giving up on you. So don't give up on yourself either.
Never took you for the shonen protagonist speech type. Trust me, I'm not giving up yet. If I had given up, you would know it because this building would probably be a crater by now.
Huh. That's a fair point.
I'm fighting as long as I can, and I've hmm, I've already been thinking about what I can try to do to fix things, but I'm not a doctor. I know nothing about medicine. I know very little about magic. This is so far beyond my area that the best I can do is try to keep myself alive. And I hate the idea of relying on other people to find answers for me because, well, we've seen how well that turns out when I do that, but this is so far beyond the scope of anything I know how to do.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a lot. I have a lot of that knowledge myself, and it's still been one of the hardest things for me to look into.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring it here. I didn't mean to affect you guys with it. And I appreciate all the help you've been giving me. And I know you're going to tell me it's not my fault, but at the same time, I am sorry. You've been nothing but kind to me, and I've brought hell to your doorstep. Not very good behavior.
If I kicked out everyone I knew who brought trouble to my doorstep, no one would come see me.
By the sound of it, you've been tempted.
Yeah, that definitely. Gone through with it a few times to less than stellar results.
Well, at least you've learned the lesson then.
I'm trying to, at least.
Ugh. He kind of taps his temple. This ain't helping, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah. It thrives on isolation. That's the one thing I've noticed from it, from all of the victims that I've encountered, all of the cases that I've handled, is it wants you alone. Wants you to try and figure out how to handle it yourself.
That is far from reassuring.
Sorry, I'm not exactly a knee gestures to her mug. Happy go lucky ray of fucking sunshine at the moment.
You're telling me I'm going to have to fight against my own natural instincts as well as it.
I mean, to be fair, it does kind of just amplify your natural instincts, so yeah, kind of.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
I know, right? It's amazing. He just shakes his head and laughs. Makes sense that it latched onto you so quickly, though, if that's already something you've struggled with.
Uh, you don't even know the half of it.
He kind of raises an eyebrow and says, "Well, you're welcome to spill the tea if you'd like."
I wouldn't know where to start. I've been doing things on my own most of my life.
It's not easy.
No,
And for what it's worth, you're doing a great job. There's a lot of people who trust you, which means you've done a lot of good. You've made a lot of good in the world, and even when it comes to this, you're holding it off about as well as I do. And it took me 4 years to get to this point.
I don't know if that's reassuring or not, but thank you.
I'm doing my best to try to be. But I think you're doing pretty great. I mean,
Thank you.
obviously, the situation at hand is less than fantastic, but you're handling it as best you can. And you're trying to find ways for other people to handle it, and that's good.
I'm trying. I I'm not letting this thing win.
And that's why you're refusing to stop rescheduling the mental breakdown, as it were.
What? I'm not sure if she's following Yu's line of logic there.
He raises an eyebrow at her and says, "You can get rid of it. You don't have the same danger that I do when it comes to letting it run its course. But you've been fighting it off just as hard as I do. I can see that.
I have. I
You're that determined to not let it win that you'll let it stick in your head for as long as it takes to find a way out?
uh there's I hmm. I'm debating on whether I want you to roll insight for this or whether it's so obvious that you just get it anyway.
I can roll insight if you'd like. I mean, I've got a pretty stupid modifier for it.
Yeah, roll insight.
All right, let's see if the my first roll of the game is a nat 20 trend continues. Close. That's a 19 plus 10, that's a 29. Give me your
Oh wow.
secrets.
Well, okay. There's definitely like just this like sort of flicker in her eyes that like yes, 100% yes, she is willing to fight this until she can find another way to win rather than Overblot herself. Um, but what she says instead is I have too much going on right now. I cannot afford to overplot at the moment.
And he looks at her and sighs and says, I'm not going to be able to change your mind.
No.
All right, that's fair.
I can be incredibly stubborn when I want to be.
No, really, I never would have guessed. This is new information. I am so shocked.
Oh, hush you. It's not like you're not stubborn yourself.
I have to be. My life is on the line.
Mm. I'm gonna I'm gonna actually roll with that inside check because like she doesn't say it out loud. Uh it's not her life she's worried about.
And he's looking at that and trying to puzzle some things out. He's going to keep his mouth shut because part of being good at feelings is knowing when to drop a subject, but
She will concede the point though with a fair enough.
just don't completely drop it as an option. Okay? If it gets to the point where you start having and he like gestures to his arms that happen, maybe getting it out of your head and getting it out of you should be the top priority over not letting it win. People around you who would be willing to help you are pretty damn resilient. Wouldn't hurt to have some faith in them. Isn't that what you were just telling me?
Throwing my words back at me, I see.
Well, you know, vengeance.
Touche. It's not hurting you at the moment, is it? Being she gestures at the like the ink that's coming like traveling up?
He shakes his head and says, "No, it doesn't hurt. I don't feel anything. I don't know if it's a mercy or a problem, but
Probably both.
probably. But wherever it spreads to, I lose feeling. I can still, obviously move just fine." He, does the little curling his fingers one at a time. But it's, it's weird. I know that I'm moving, but it's knowing factually without being able to feel anything.
Hmm.
Not a great time.
No sensory input, no temperature, nothing like that?
Nope. I'm lucky this stuff doesn't burn.
Yes, well, small mercies, I suppose.
Yeah. The other day, I was making a strawberry tart for Jubilee because he went and got groceries for me. And I went to pull the tart out of the oven with bare hands. Not
Please,
my best moment.
please be careful. There are non-magical uh, infections and illnesses that can cause a lack of feeling and pain, and those can get very serious.
I know. I I'm being as careful as I can. I probably shouldn't have been baking on migraine and little sleep anyway.
I'm not gonna judge you for that, given everything that's going on. Finding things that you enjoy doing and the small things is important. But
Some little sense of normal.
yeah, just just make sure you're careful.
And he makes a cross my heart gesture. I promise.
There's a small well, I'm gonna hold you to that, but maybe best be careful with those in the future. Uh
What? Promises?
well, more you hmm. Um she's hesitating a little bit. Um but I think she might end up saying it. You know, well, you're I don't know if it's the same in the mirror realm, but given the abundance of them, you might be aware of the potential dangers of making promises to Fae.
I am aware. Is this where you tell me of your secret Fey ancestry, Dr. Everlight? Have I been once again dealing with an archfey without knowing it? Were you just
not
too polite to steal my name the first time we first met, hmm?
not an archmage, archfey, but some things don't. Well, hereditary.
Crystal. You're kidding me, right?
I'm not.
What is my luck? Okay. I swear, fairies and ghosts. If I had a nickel for all of my friends who turned out to be fairies and ghosts. Too many nickels, Crystal. It's becoming too many goddamn nickels.
Hmm.
Do you guys even have nickels here?
We do. Hmm. Mostly
Amazing.
plot relevant than actual currency, but yes, they exist.
Plot relevant nickels. Amazing.
You have no idea. This is what I deal with most of days.
Plot relevant nickels?
That level of, well, it ranges from, well, honestly, this, and she gestures at you, to as absurd as plot relevant nickels. That's Toons as a whole.
Incredible. Sounds like you're never bored, at least.
Hard to be.
How'd you get into studying this stuff anyway?
She's silent for a moment, just sort of, like, thinks, and then just, you really want that answer?
If you want to give it to me. I won't pry if it's not my business, of course, but can't deny I'm curious. Fatal flaw of mine, unfortunately.
Hm. Yes, that
Bad habit
seems
of
to
sticking
be.
my nose where I don't belong.
Oh, trust me, if you think you're bad, well, you're hardly the worst person I've had to deal with that at the moment.
True, you work with you're at the very least friends with a couple people in the detective agency, and I know I'm not quite as nosy as some of them.
Ha, yes, quite. It's not just the detectives either. Well, the plenty of others in that chat who are just as nosy if they want to be.
Yeah, a lot of people who, once they decide that they're going to help you, they do not take no for an answer, yourself included.
Well, I guess we have that in common.
Everybody hates a mirror.
Ah, true. To answer your question, someone quite close to me ended up with particularly nasty magical illness, and I ended up gravitating towards this field as a result.
Ah, that makes sense. Did they were you able to help?
Um, she's silent, but she shakes her head.
Ah, I'm sorry. That
Yeah,
sounds hard.
like I said, I understand what it's like when years of work goes down the drain.
Yeah. It's not a pleasant feeling. And I can only imagine how bad it must be when you're not working for yourself, but for someone you care about. That must have really hurt.
Yeah, it did. It does.
I think he, in lieu of saying anything else, actually just gets up, walks over, and sits next to her on the couch.
Yeah, hold on. I should probably roll something for her. See how she's doing. God damn. Okay. Yep. Hell of a thing to roll a nat 20 on.
What's she rolling for?
Wisdom. I just wanted to see how she was doing after all of that. But she's okay. She's doing okay. Um, I mean, sometimes these things can be like talking about them can help.
Yeah.
Mm. But, well, that aside, it doesn't mean I'm giving up on other people.
That's good. I hmm, I don't remember where exactly I heard it. Probably some book or another I read back in my home world, but a concept I've always found fascinating is that when faced with things that hurt us, they can affect us in one of two ways. They can either break us and make us stop trying, or they can become motivation to never let it happen again.
Hmm. That's, huh, I've never heard that before.
It's a good concept. I don't like the idea of, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger because that's an aggressive oversimplification, but sometimes it's okay to look at something and say, "Yeah, this fucking sucked. This fucking sucked. This hurt like hell." And then look at it and say, "I don't want that to ever happen again. To me, to the people I care about, to anyone." And turn it into motivation.
Hmm.
You seem to have done that.
That's
And that's
one
really
way of putting
admirable.
it. Thanks.
Well, I think it's an admirable trait. Maybe I'm biased, given, you're trying to save my life and all that, but as far as I can tell, you're a pretty good egg.
Well, if it helps you have a little bit more faith that we're going to solve this, then I won't deny that.
Eh, I'm pretty sure at this point my faith in the matter is inconsequential.
No, it's not. Your you holding on is just as integral as anyone else.
Well, good
Do
thing
not
I'm good at it then.
sell yourself.
And he kind of bumps her with his elbow and says, "Back at ya."
Thank you.
Hmm.
I'm not really good with emotions, but you are doing okay after everything you've learned. Well, as okay as you can.
Eh. He kind of sighs and shrugs and says, "I am pretty decent at emotions, apparently, and it says something that even I don't know how to handle this. I'm I'm functional, and at this point, that's all I can ask from myself is that I'm not falling apart at the seams. I'm not putting holes in the walls, which is good. Um, I'm doing my best not to get worse. It's a lot to find out, you know? It's a lot to realize that not only is everything you've been working for impossible, but that the entire life that you used to have, all the people you knew, all the places you found comforting, all the things you thought you would spend the rest of your life doing, are gone. Lost to you forever. I I'll never get to talk to Rio again. I'll never get to do another shift at the museum giving my tours or doing arts and crafts with my kids. I'll never get to work in the theater again or get stood up for a school dance and dance in the rain with my best friend instead. But that's a lot of grief to handle at once. And trying to take it all in the shape that it is the kind of thing that I can tell would break me.
Hmm.
So right now, the focus goes into not letting myself fall apart. And when I'm in a place where that's less of a danger, then I can start to take it apart and examine it.
Sounds like a sensible plan. And I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Hmm.
That means a lot.
I can't imagine how hard that must be. But, well, I guess one step at a time. Hey?
Yep. One step at a time. Focus on seeing the next sunrise before focusing on feeling bad over everything that's gone.
Hmm.
We can reschedule that mental breakdown for when it won't literally make me lose my head, eh?
Ah, yeah. God. Sometimes, I hate magic.
Oh, God. No, cheers. I'll fucking drink to that. And he, like, clinks his mug against hers.
Yeah. Um, she'll have a sip. Like, I don't, like, you don't really like, but, well, I guess suppose you don't do it with alcohol either, but, you know, kind of. Sorry. Yeah, no, she'll take a drink after that. Like, here, yeah, I will drink to that.
The tea's actually really good. It's a sort of, um, it's a very floral blend with, a lot of green tea and, sort of herbal flavors.
Hmm.
But it's cozy.
Hmm.
It's cozy and refreshing.
That's really cool, 'cause like my headcanon of like Crystal's favorite like tea is like a mint lavender tea.
Well, this has both of those things. It's mint and lavender and something a bit floral
Hmm.
on a very nice and sort of grounded, earthy base.
Hmm. This is really good.
I'm glad. I just kind of went with your vibes.
Right. I hmm. Well, uh glad to know that my vibes match my taste.
They tend to. I made some extra for you to take home if you'd like. The blend is balanced to help get some sleep. Or at the very least, help kill some anxieties.
Yeah, could probably use that at the moment. Thanks.
No problem.
Ah,
I try to help out how I can.
sometimes I hate the plot. Do you know how much my work picked up since I got Overblot?
A lot.
A lot. Why is everything happening right now?
Oh, I am so sorry.
Don't be. It's well, it's. She sort of gestures. You've been here long enough to know that sometimes the thematics work uh, at hand a lot in people's lives here.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like the universe may be poking at you, telling you, hey, you need a lesson in self-care, motherfucker.
The universe can go screw itself.
That actually just makes him crack up laughing. Damn, you don't feel strongly about that at all.
Ah, yeah. Sorry about that.
Nah, don't worry about it. I get it.
For real though,
Seriously though,
this is
is there
someone
any way you
who
can
would tell God to go fuck himself.
you can respect that energy? But he does like pause and say, is there anyone else? I mean, I remember you work at a university. Is there anyone else who can take on some of the same subjects? Anyone in your department who can help you out? Maybe lighten the load by spreading it out from between many hands so you don't have to take on everything yourself.
Hmm. Why? I shouldn't ask that. I know why this is keeps coming up. Uh,
Oh, wait 1 second.
all good.
What's our plan for tomorrow? Uh,
Give us a moment. Real life happens because we are not professionals here. We do this for fun, which means we have people who can walk in and out on us when we're playing. Hi, folks. How you doing? Hoping you're having fun. Yeah, I can understand why why Juby would be worried. Uh, Ooh, fashion is fun. Fashion is very fun. I have no idea how I'm going to get her into it, but one day I'm going to get Crystal into a game where she has to dress up because she has a dress that I've never been able to use with her. That is for a fancy ball sort of thing. Oh, that would be fun. knowing knowing this group of people, yeah, it would be for fun and for profit. Like literally, it would be for fun and for profit.
Okay, hi. Sorry, I'm back. I had to establish tea party plans for tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Anyway, where were we?
Yeah. Sorry. Let's see. Um. Oh God.
I know
Like
you had
it's
just mentioned to Crystal, maybe there's someone else in your department who could help you
that's right.
lighten your load a bit.
Yeah. She started by going, "What? Why is everyone asking me that?" But she's like, "I know why people are asking me that."
Because you're
No.
stressed and overworked as hell, my dear.
Not currently. No.
Ugh, that's rough.
Yeah.
Niche
It's
subject, or just everybody else has their own workload?
uh, niche subject. It's not exactly. Well, it's not to say that there isn't anyone who has studied this, but not really as broadly as I have.
Ah, you're kind of the local expert then.
Yeah, that kind of happens when you've been working in a field for 20 years. You become extremely specialized.
Damn. Yeah, that's a long time to be doing the same thing.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it's not like there are
A
so
shortage
many
of
things.
material.
Yeah.
I get it. I'd offer to help you out, but I'm not much. Like I said, I don't know much about magic. Most I could do is maybe help you get some files organized.
Thank you, but that's probably one thing that I don't need help with. That said, if you're ever interested in learning, I can. I might have. Hold on. I need to check her hammer space table, see if she has anything that she can give you on this matter, because I do know I actually have some things. Where did I put your hammer space table? Yeah, okay. Rolling another hammer space. Cool. 3. Uh D. Come on. Oh god, there are too many. Magical Theory 101. There it is. She's gonna pull out that as a book. That's actually one of the books that's on her hammer space. So she'll pull that one out. And I think for good measure she'll also pull out uh Magical Maladies and Mystical Mayhems.
He raises an eyebrow at those. Recommended reading?
Well, not usually, but um you seem like you would maybe be interested in learning a bit more.
Oh, glad to know I'm so transparent. He kind of smiles. I like learning stuff.
Hmm.
Just knowing stuff in general.
Yes, it is fun. I will admit, I probably would pick up a lot of these things even if I didn't work in this field.
I get it. I mean, I've never worked with flowers in my life, but I have an entire book of floriography memorized, so I can't exactly judge.
I think I have the history of chocolate is probably one of the more niche ones I've picked up.
Oh, I once wrote an essay in elementary school on the process of making chocolate in my home world.
Really?
Completely unprompted. And then I went up to my 3rd grade teacher and asked to present it before class.
I hmm, well, I kind of had too many advanced classes to do that, but that sounds like something I would do.
And he kind of grins and says, "Pleased to meet a fellow nerd."
Yes, I knew there was a reason I liked you.
Likewise.
But yeah, these two are, well, they're very good general starting books. If you want any more, let me know and I'll pick some up for you.
I might have to take you up on that. At the very least, it could help me figure out how some of the stuff in this world works so I don't have any more, getting walled into my apartment with pots of soup incidents.
Yes, I don't, do I have something on Toon Logic? And I'm
I
just
think, like,
checking. Does
as he
she?
mentions that, I think, like, as he mentions the incident, Crystal, roll perception.
Oh, sure, I will. Yep. Oh, nice, nice.
What'd she get?
17.
And you got a 26. There's a distinct smell of potato soup from one of the cabinets, and he groans and stands up and goes and pulls a pot of potato leek soup out of the cabinet,
Mhm.
gestures at it, and says, "I don't even own this pot."
Yeah, that happens. I really should get a book on Toon Logic, considering, well, how many real kind and, well, formerly real kind people there are here. It would go probably not go awry. Did you know there was once I had to help Moria like uh file her her office because it was full of paperwork that just spawned.
Oh my god. I noticed the whole "it keeps spawning on her desk no matter how many times I clear it" thing. But at one point it filled the entire room. You're serious?
Yes, this was fairly early on.
I swear that building is haunted.
Well, either that or you are aware there are such things as living buildings in Inkwell, right?
I was not. Hello?
Yeah, you have both haunted buildings uh and I hold on, I've completely blanked on the word. Um uh
You actually does know the word and says, "Wait, fucking genius loci are real here?"
yeah, they are.
God damn. Those are Why are there so many things here that are just stories in my world? Why do you guys get all the cool stuff? Damn.
Wait, what do you mean stories in your world?
Genius loci are a common story thing. Well, not common, but they happened a lot in books and fairy tales and stories that I read where there would be stories of buildings that cared for their occupants, and the more their occupants cared for them, the more they would be cared for in turn. I liked those kinds of stories. But there's
Yeah.
also, a lot of the stuff that you guys treat as reality. Where I'm from, that stuff was just writing. That was the rules of reality here were the rules of our fiction and television.
Well, I guess it's nice to know that storytelling tropes are universal. I guess. That is a fairly specific thing to Inkwell in general. It's if you ever get a chance to explore outside it, it's very much not the case elsewhere.
Interesting. I thought it might be a bit more common elsewhere. I happened to find a map of this world while I was doing my uh, manic levels of fucking quantum physics research. And given that the world is named Story, or Zatori, which is story but spelled weird,
Well, maybe I need to
I
amend
think
the statement then. It is exponentially worse in Inkwell.
good to know.
I'm sure that'll come in handy. Hopefully not, but, well, probably will.
Probably. Most of the time when we hope things don't happen, that's exactly when they start to happen.
Ah, see, you're learning already.
Thanks for coming to visit.
Of course, I should have checked in sooner.
No, it's okay. You've been really busy. I get it. Sorry I didn't, I don't know, tell the chat that I wouldn't be at work anymore.
Look, you. It's hard to blame you considering that I know the. And she's gonna tap her head influence that you have.
Yep. Does yours sound like anyone in particular?
Mm, Mostly myself.
You're your own worst critic then.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Yours sounds like someone specific.
Who do you think? He kind of rubs at his throat. It's Crowley. Usually, anyway. Always with that fucking smarmy ass, self important jackass tone.
Mm, Well, I suppose it's lucky for him that he's so far away now.
I think several people would like to beat the shit out of him on my behalf, which is an odd feeling.
Yeah, that's fairly common in Inkwell too.
Well, it's not a bad thing necessarily, just unusual.
It has its ups and downs. Kind of unfortunate it is so prevalent, but comforting nonetheless.
Yeah. It's nice to be somewhere where people can openly admit they care about each other again.
Mm. The Mara wasn't like that, huh?
No, everybody for themselves. And caring about other people, that's a weakness. That's giving them power over you. You don't want to do that. That's dangerous. Stupid.
Yeah, sounds like a whole barrel of laughs.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, honestly, the more I learn about it, the less surprised I am that something like this came from there.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Honestly, it even makes sense that it's Crowley's fault, given that of all of them, he was the worst about it. That man was so sure that he was the be all end all of every answer to anything ever.
Well, pardon my language, but he sounds like a right jackass.
Do you see me judging you for any language? No, that man was an absolute fuckhead.
Hmm. Well, I'm glad you're not there anymore.
Me too. Even if this isn't where I was trying to get to. Honestly, I could have done a lot worse. I got to meet you guys.
You sure that doesn't want to send you running back?
Are you kidding? I would much rather have a chaotic potion buddy, a very nice but very stressed out and overworked doctor lady, a nosy detective, and a a work mom who is way too kind and patient with me than have to deal with any of my old classmates again.
There's you're welcome to roll an insight on Crystal again.
I would be happy to. Let me roll my insight.
Yeah.
24?
Yeah. There's a the expression that Crystal holds there is like a fairly complex one. There's a sadness and a softness to it. The sadness for probably the most obvious reasons of the like what you has had to go through at this point. Um
Mm-hmm.
the softness of the I'm really glad you have something better now, and just a hint of um I'm just trying to find the word for it, like surprise and hesitation over the fact that he considers her like something worthwhile and someone worthwhile to be around.
Aw, Crystal.
Like she was not very like social growing up. She's still kind of getting used to the idea that people care about her.
Oh, goodness. I love her so much, Your Honor.
Thank you. I really like you too. Like I want to hold him. But she responds with a, well, that's probably a good thing considering you probably stuck with us now.
Damn. Such a tragedy.
What can I say? Did tell you that the tropes hit hard.
I know. Damn. Well, I guess I'll just have to learn to put up with such an ordeal. Just the obvious sarcasm.
Well, the sarcasm's a good start.
If you'd like, you're welcome to come over more often, by the way. Even if it's not, with updates on the shenaniganery.
Yeah,
It's nice to just have people around.
I will try and check in more.
Yeah,
And you take care.
of course. It's what I always do.
As best you can.
Back at ya.
Ah, thank you for the tea.
No problem. Here. And he will get up, head over to the kitchen, rummage through the cabinets. Let me roll a roll of D2 to see if another pot of soup pops up. Yeah, he opens one of the cabinets. There is another pot of soup. He stares at it, closes the cabinet, opens it again. The soup is still there. Looks over at Crystal. I don't suppose you like potato leek soup.
Uh, hmm. Give it here. I don't necessarily need it, but leave it in the university and it will get eaten.
And he will take the pot down and hand it to her before finding what he was looking for, which is just a little square tin that he packs the tea that he made for her into.
Hmm.
And sets that on top of the lid of the soup pot.
Hmm. I'll have a look to see if I can find anything to help with the food situation.
Thanks. I appreciate that. It would be nice to be able to taste stuff again.
Hmm. Yes, and well, I know I've said it a lot already, but take care.
And he gives her a little bow. You have my word.
I'll be holding you to that.
Then I will make sure I don't slip up.
Hmm. I should probably get back. I still have so much to do today.
Well, happy to have been able to provide you with a break. And he will like walk over to the door to open it for her because her hands are full.
Oh, she'll put it in her hammer space. She'll just like open up the bag and put it in. Actually, she'll make sure the lid is secured first before putting it in because, yeah, doesn't want spilled soup in her hammer space. That'll be bad.
Don't spill soup in your hammer space. uh, do we want to end the FPS there?
I will say, where she's leaving, she will look over at where Dyer is and,
Dyer
uh,
is on top of the fridge.
oh, goodbye to you too, Dyer. Take care as well and make sure this one gets rest.
Meow. And she will hop down off of the fridge to land on Yu's shoulder, make him like stumble and stuff. Just Dyer, God. Okay, you made your point. Hi, hello. Yes, I love you too. Yes, hello. He just scratches her between the ears. Now you've done it. You've set her on me.
Hmm.
Can't
Well,
believe you've done this to me.
I know.
The betrayal.
Such a shame.
The betrayal. The absolute tragedy.
Yes, I
I will
know I'm
never
the
recover
worst.
from this. I will never recover from this.
Oh, hush.
And
God, I love
Dyer
Dyer.
just reaches over and bats you on the nose.
Yeah, and I think she will Crystal will laugh a little bit because that is kind of like okay, that is, she does have a soft spot for Dyer. Dyer's great. She likes her a lot actually.
She's a very funny cat.
Uh, yeah, sort of wish you like goodbye and care and all of that stuff again, and then yep, yeah, she's got to go because yeah, she has work. It never stops.
It never stops. The work starts coming and it don't stop coming.
Yeah, and like, okay, she is a workaholic. She likes her work. She's someone who probably should spend more time away from her work than she does, but it also is a lot.
hmm It's at the point where even she is getting tired of it, which is saying something.
Yeah, kinda.
But with that, do we want to end here?
Yeah, that sounds like a good place to end.
Thank you so much for playing with me. Thank you so much to our audience for listening. This was a blast.
Ah, it was so
Everybody
good.
say goodbye to our listeners. Goodbye, listeners.
Bye.